Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Ruby Gill, and I feel honored to welcome you all on the behalf of Lovely Professional University for taking a keen interest in today's webinar, which is entitled as Pathway to Build Career in AI and Data Engineering. So attendees, I'm sure you'll feel enriched with the knowledge after the completion of today's webinar. So kindly allow me to introduce our experts. Professor Sammy Anand, Deputy Dean and Assistant Professor, Head, Department of Training and Placement, Lovely Professional University. A downward personality, post-graduated in computer sciences, he has a demonstrated history of working in the education management industry. He is skilled in cloud computing, process automation, mobile application development, student skill development, planner, programming, lecturing, and curriculum development. So, sir, thank you so much for giving us your valuable time. I humbly welcome our industry expert, Mr. Raghav Gupta, co-founder and CEO, Futurance Technologies, a young and zestful personality with a goal to democratize the playing field for the budding talent of India by providing an ideal platform for the talent to unlock its true potential with zero investment and all while paying them full salaries. Graduated from Emory University, United States of America, he returned to his country with an aim to make India not only the best back office to the world, but also the best front office and make the country the powerhouse of talent. So, sir, it's a privilege to have you on board with us today. Thank you so much for joining. Additionally, I would like to welcome Mr. Atul Tripathi, Big Data and Artificial Intelligence Consultant, National Security Council Secretariat, Prime Minister's Office. So, sir, thank you so much for giving your valuable time to us. Additionally, I would like to welcome our admission expert, Ms. Megha Singh, Assistant Professor, Lovely Professional University. Her expertise lies in human resource management, and currently she is involved in research related to social causes. And attendees today, she'll give you an insight of fee, eligibility, scholarship, which I'm sure will make you save a lot of money. And in addition to that, she'll also be sharing the infrastructure part of the university. So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. So with this, we'll begin our today's webinar. I welcome you all once again to the webinar and hope that you all will have a great interaction with our experts. So over to you, Professor Sammy Anand, sir, for the content of the day.
Thank you, Ruby. Thank you for the warm introduction of all the panelists. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's understand the motto and the reason why we are out here. So if you go by the webinar name, that is Pathway to Build Career in AI and Data Engineering. This career path, why we want to focus on this career path? It's because the understanding of the logic. Ruby, I think so the screen got switched. Ruby? Ruby, I think so the screen got switched from GoToWebinar.
Please give me a moment. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So you're not audible.
So I wanted to say, let's understand the motto. Let's understand why we are doing this webinar. So the primary reason is to educate students about the career opportunities that are there and how they would take forward this decision making into their career. And for that, when we think that what education that we need to impart before a student gets into the campus is about the programs that we are offering, so that they can make a very educated decision about which program they want to go for. And how we build this program up, let's talk about that. So we went to industry, to discuss about how and what kind of skills are needed for these students, and not to be looking at what the next year, or looking at the next 4 years, after 3 years, after 6 years, which are the technologies that are going to be there in the market, would be needed in the industry to get the students ready for that. And when we went out to the students, and when we discussed with the industry that, okay, this is what industry needs, that's where we got the idea that the biggest need of the hour is in data science. And there are a lot of fields in data science, being very honest. A person normal would see only data science as one field. So data engineering is a very important aspect which is related to data science. And along with that, AI, artificial intelligence. And when we talked about this to the industry, we got a good feedback that this is the things that are needed by a engineer who's passing out after 4 years of BTech degree, that this is what they wanted. And then we went out and we talked to a lot of industry people to understand the need that is there. And then when we understood the need that, okay, this is what exactly the industry needs, we came up and we discussed it with a lot of other industry partners. And that's where we connected with Futurins. And Futurins gave us the idea that this is how we can collaborate and we can co-deliver this program and make the students industry ready by the time they complete their degree. Now, when we were doing this, and when we were getting on and we were looking at how this program to be delivered, we had a lot of discussion with the curriculum and all. And then we came up with a curriculum which actually supports what the industry needs. And we'll be talking about that. So we have with us the industry expert, Dr. Atul, who will be talking about this particular scheme with us. Now, before we go to him, let's understand the need. Students now entering into a computer science field, it's a very generic field. When I mean generic field, it means every other university and everyone is getting as a computer science degree. What is the edge that you carry? And there's a very big myth which I want to clarify at the very start, because every time we do such sessions, this is one of the most important query that comes up. If I take this program, how would I get placements in the other fields that are there? So let's understand the degree which is going to be delivered of CSE is going to be same for all the students. There is something which is known as electives, which are a basket where you get this part as delivery. So students are opting that I want to be specialized in this. So there are special courses which are there which will get you ready in AI and data engineering. So you would be a BTech CSE engineer with an edge of AI and data engineering. It is not that with AI and data engineering tag you are bound for AI data engineering. Core CSE skills are taught throughout. So 60 to 65% of core CSE skills would be taught in this program, and 35% of the program would be focused on AI and data engineering specifically. Now, when I say AI and data engineering, it would be core courses which are needed, designed, discussed in the industry, and will be delivered by the industry. So you get an edge of AI and data engineering specialist, which is there. At the same time, you are a CSE grad. So you are open for all CSE grad positions for placements. At the same time, you're open for specialized positions of AI and data engineering, which a normal CSE grad won't be. So you are opening a window to both the worlds for yourself. And obviously, based on your performance, you would go into one. So that's the beauty about these programs. Now, without delaying, let's hear it from Atul sir. So Atul sir, over to you. If you can discuss the program details with the students, and then we'll move forward, and we'll have Raghav to discuss about the details of the intuitiveness of this program.
Thank you, Professor Sami, and I hope I am audible first of all to everybody. Am I?
Yes, Raghav, you're audible.
This is Atul here.
Yes, Atul, you're audible.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for allowing me to share my screen. Just 1 second, please. Okay.
Yeah. So
I
the
hope my
dice have
screen
been
is.
rattled.
I hope
Now
my
it's
screen
visible,
is
sir. Yeah,
great.
it's visible, sir.
So thank you for the kind words for introduction to the program and to all of us. It's very nice to be connected with one and all. And good evening. So we live in exciting times, as they say, and the reason why we are excited about living in exciting times is the only reason is data. That's the one that is the horse that is driving the entire cart. The entire focus is on data, and since we're talking about data, so you need to understand data. So what do? You understand it through either a fictitious way, or you understand it through some scientific means, and this is where the entire program is focused on. We will try and learn the techniques, the technologies that are there in today's world, and that will be upcoming requirements in for tomorrow. You have to be ready for that game. And let me be very frank with all my young people out here, this entire course has been designed with one view of one particular view. I was also a part of the course designing team, and the only question that I had put for myself is, if somebody comes out of this course, what is it that I would be looking at towards that person so that I can make him or her my team member? I would like those young professionals passing out to become our team members, at various companies and organizations that we work in across the board. That has been the entire focus while designing the course. And that is why a lot of technologies that you will be seeing, you may feel that why is it needed right now? Well, it is needed because you need to understand that everything is going to be data driven, and the entire story of data is going to be written. So that is why you have this AI and data engineering. Now, it could have been simple engineering. Why do we have data engineering? Because we'll be pulling in data, we'll be doing a lot of things about data. And if you see, one of the important things that we immediately start off is most popular thing, Python. If you talk to anybody in today's world, data science means Python programming. You should know, the very first thing, you should know Python programming. If you're not aware of Python programming, well, you're not in a very strong position to be playing it. Another important thing that happens immediately is I'll be talking about very core technologies related to data engineering and AI, particularly, is about design thinking and complex problem solving. Now, when I say design thinking, is how do you define a problem statement? How do you solve a problem statement? That is what is going to be important thing. Plus, the most important thing is going to be about the core, non-core, quote unquote, papers that we call it as. Mathematics is going to be the key. You should understand things about electronics and digital sciences. Why do you need to understand? Because you see, it's a part of the CSC paper. And if you don't understand the entire flow of information within a computing system, how will you be able to handle the data part? You have to understand. And there are very interesting electives as that we have given. Environmental science studies, an interesting subject to work on, and because today the entire world has also started to move towards climate change and disaster risk and all these things. So one needs to understand these aspects of life. Then about communication of networks, a lot of times you will be questioning yourself, why do I need to know data science, database designing and data structures, and computer networks? How is it going to enable me to be a good AI engineer? Well, let me be very frank with you. After having worked in this field for a couple of decades in the industry, it is actually needed. Initially, when I had started off my career, even I used to think, why do I need to know all these subjects? Sorry. Now I realize after a couple of decades why it is needed. So trust me when I say this, with a lot of experience behind me, it will be required, and you will appreciate as you go, in your career ahead. Another thing that you'll be looking at is, again, a lot of stress on statistics, on mathematics, on EDA. EDA stands for, the data analysis. How do you do it? Exploratory data. You're telling the story about data. You're not exploring the data itself. So that is the focus. That's going to be a very key part. And I would request all the student community out here to please spend a lot of time in the first 3-4 semesters, because that is going to be your grounding and pounding where you'll be having. Based on these 2-3 semesters, 4 semesters that you'll be studying, that will set the fundamentals for the game for your next set of courses that you'll be taking. So we tend to take things very lightly at the initial days, but I would request, please don't do that, because that is your starting point where you need to take things very, very, comprehensively, and you need to understand things like computer organization, designing systems, operating systems, how do they interact among themselves. You will be, while discussing about operating system, you'll be talking about something called as, distributed operating system, which is actually the foundations of cloud computing, as we call it. So you'll find it very odd that why are we talking about distributed cloud computing? We're not talking about distributed cloud computing. We're trying to understand distributed operating system, because that's how the systems work and how they interact among themselves. And as we go down, you'll see a lot of stress would begin to flow around data visualization, storing, about introduction to big data. Again, you see cloud computing. Now, we could have done the cloud computing earlier because it's very popular. A lot of terminologies are used in today's world, cloud computing, but we deliberately kept it below because we want other students to understand what is networking, what is distributed operating system, how do they interact among themselves, what is the data structure, how do you write a very smart algorithm, so that, because if you are working with real-time data, you don't have time to react. So your algorithms have to be very smart. You cannot do a lot of you cannot spend a lot of time crunching the numbers, as you call it, in order to figure out what is going to be happening tomorrow. Then if you will be going through your AI/ML introduction. AI/ML is artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is where you will start learning things about artificial intelligence and machine learning. That's why I said, do spend a lot of time in the first four semesters thoroughly, and then that will be setting the stage for a very great career towards this area, and which we are looking at things like how do you do your deep learning or artificial intelligence, quote unquote. Then you learn about large scale processing systems like Scala programming will be coming into picture. We'll also be talking about computer vision and image processing. So if you have a lot of computer you have a lot of images to look at, how do you derive knowledge and insights from that, right, based on the processing of data. Now again, industry ethics and legal issues. You will ask yourself, why do I need to understand that? Well, important issue is you do not only need to write a smart algorithm, but you also need to write the right algorithm in the right framework of things. So you need to understand that what is the ethical issues while working as an artificial intelligence data scientist, specialized data scientist. You need to understand certain issues of legal issues, and how do you protect your data, where you're going to keep your data. These are going to be very important terms. But what is interesting, I find, in this entire syllabus is that approximately 1 year you'll be interacting with the industry. That is where you'll be learning a lot of real-time things out there. No? So out here itself, you can clearly see that by the time you come to the seventh semester, you are in a position to start interacting with the industry itself. Then you go on to do very interesting subjects like edge computing, which is now becoming very popular with the IoT world and everything else. How do you do your data streaming analysis in the real-time systems? So you'll be learning something else called as Kafka. How you do apply that technology and programming language in order to understand and process data. Then again, you'll come around to NoSQL databases. Why NoSQL? Because again, you're going to be storing data in multiple formats, whether it is going to be images, whether it's going to be text, whether it is going to be noise, sound, all kind of things you do. So a lot of stress has been put on understanding and exploring new technologies. And two, the stress is on the projects. You see that again, capstone project, again a 6 months internship. So the focus is, rather, let me put it this way, the focus is to get the student community to be aware of things that is happening in the industry. What is the industry require? I mean, I come out of the system and I don't know what the industry requires, and I have to again relearn myself. Just imagine the time, effort, and money that I spent to relearn and learn and relearn again. So a lot of time is spent. So why not have the students interact very closely with the industry itself? It will enable two things to happen. One is, obviously the industry is able to spot the right kind of a talent, and two, you as a student community, you gain, because a new business idea comes out of it, from which we can have another new startup coming out, a new idea, either in production engineering or any other areas, smart technologies coming out. There are a lot of things that we can explore in today's world. So that is the focus. Two things I would suggest. The focus is on, I would like to, at the end, I would like to do, put up my points in three points. One is, spend the first 4 semesters properly. Do put in a lot of effort to understand. Second is, once by the time you're starting off with your AI/ML concepts, you need to start interacting with the industry. Please do not imagine that you're going to be learning. It's not a rote learning mechanism that this entire program is about. And the third and important point is explore yourself. Don't just confine yourself to the books. Start exploring a new idea. Anything, it can be a wildest of idea, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with it. But do keep yourself posted and take these capstone projects and the semester, the industry interaction very seriously, because that is where you'll get a lot of ideas. That's where your career enhancement will be taking place. Apart from the books and the theoretical knowledge that you'll be gaining a lot out there. That's what I wanted to share my experience regarding the syllabus, Professor Savi and Raghav and the others as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Atul sir, for the description for the students about how the program is structured and which kind of courses and which kind of industry tools which they would be exposed to, and which kind of knowledge that they would gain, which would be more relevant for them in the 3 years down the line when they're setting in for placements and moving into the industry for their internships. And with this program, they would be moving in the internship just after completion of their second year. And that's where the intuitiveness about this program is, because rest of the students in rest of the programs would get to work with the industry after completion of their 3 years or 4 years of degree. But in this program, they get into hands-on with the industry immediately after the completion of their second year. And that's where this integrative program has been created. And Raghav would be sharing a lot of insights on that how this internship that is structured early and how this program would going to benefit students with respect to the inclusion part with the industry. Raghav, over to you, please.
Hi guys. Just give me a few seconds. We are just doing something.
Your voice is a bit on the lower side, Raghav.
1 second. Give me a second.
There's a bit of echo coming.
I think I have to. I'm just relogging.
Now the echo is again. So there was earlier, it was good. Okay. So meanwhile, Raghav is joining in. I'll give you a bit of insight about this program. So in this program, what we have done is we have structured multiple internships into this program, in which students would be paid stipend. So it's a stipend-based internship. So while you're working, you get the stipend from the industry. And in this complete program, you'll be working on projects which are, you could say, as good as live projects of the industry. So obviously, you would not be working on the live data, but the project and the simulation of all those would be live. You'd be learning firsthand with the industry. The most important part, which Raghav would also emphasize on, is in the very first semester when you enter into this program, there's something called as a letter of intent, which is equivalent to an offer letter given to a placed student. You will get that in the very first semester, which will have the details at how you perform at LPU and how you perform with future projects and courses, is how much package you will achieve. So the first day you are in campus, you know your pathway set, that okay, this is how I need to perform, this is how I perform, and this is where I get to. So you have all those details with you right on the first day when you enter into the university. After your induction is over, you are into the program, there's a session, and all the letter of intents are given out to the students. And that's where this program stands out from the rest of the programs. So you are clear that you perform in this manner, you get this much package, you perform in this manner, you get X package. Packages go up to 12 lakhs, that's 12 LPA, 12 lakhs per annum. So that's the most, I would say, significant part which is there. So we have Raghav with us now.
Hi guys.
Yeah, Raghav, it's a lot better. Over to you. I was just sharing thoughts which you would have shared with the students a bit.
Cool. Can you guys allow me access to share my screen?
Yeah, please. Ruby, can you give Raghav the access for sharing?
I'm sorry about the technical.
No issues, no issues.
Can you guys see my screen?
My screen? It's not there as of now. Yeah, yes, it's there now.
Yeah, cool. Is it visible now?
You're able to see your screen.
Do you see us
Right now we
all
are,
right?
yeah, we are able to see your screen right now. There, yeah, the PPT is up now.
Yeah, cool. Can you guys see it, right? Perfect. So
Correct. It's there.
hi guys. My name is Raghav. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Futurance. So, I think we have had a lot of technical talk here right now. So let me just ask you guys a question. Do all of you agree that driverless cars are the future? I think all of us would say yes, right? But how does it work? It primarily works on two technologies. One is artificial intelligence, and the other is data engineering. And the best part about this particular course is that you're going to study both of these technologies in depth and also get an industry exposure on that. How does an industry exposure matter to you? That ensures that once your degree is done, you are ahead of the curve. You are ahead of your friends who will also do certain degrees, who will also go to college, but they will not have the kind of exposure, the kind of experience you will have once your degree is done, right? So, very simply put, how does it work? I think sir before me had very beautifully explained you the curriculum. What I can tell you guys is in semester 4, semester 6, and semester 8, you will have a lot of fun. And why will you have a lot of fun? In semester 4, you will get access to a paid internship via Futurance, where you get a chance to apply the basics of what you learned. In semester 6, you will get a chance to not just apply the basics, but also certain new age nuances that are key to you becoming a data engineer or getting in the AI field. And finally, semester 8 is when you will have a 6-month long internship where you will be as good as any other person working in the industry, if not better. So, guys, the whole concept of these 8 semesters is that once you graduate, you are ahead of the curve. The goal is to make sure you are not doing what everyone else is doing in this country. You are doing something which is truly unique. And the reason why we say unique is because industry exposure is something which everyone talks about, but for them industry exposure is that they will do one webinar from someone from Google. How does it give you industry exposure? You can go on YouTube and get that same webinar. But what if I tell you, you get a chance to work in a company like Google during your college, during your semester 4, during your semester 6, and finally during your last semester? Don't you think you will truly get the industry experience which you want and you require? And guys, let me tell you one thing, right? This is not going to be easy. This is going to be really tough, but the beauty is you will have a cohort, you will have a class that is going along with you in this journey. You will have faculty that is not just teaching you technicals, but is also inspiring you on how to be a real world practitioner, is inspiring you on how to think the next big tech idea, is motivating you to think out of the box. Because one thing you will realize is when you work for any of these big companies, right? They will not ask you that, code this for us. So they will give you a concept is to make sure that you become problem solvers once the 8 semesters are done, right? So I think we all understand the opportunity we have here. Now let's step back and understand what is Futurance, what is the association of Futurance with respect to this particular course, right? So Futurance, we say we are the godfather of talent because we provide an ideal platform for people like you to unlock your true potential. And why do we believe we provide you an ideal platform? Because we are working very closely. Fortune 500 companies are exactly understanding what are they looking for. Because there is no point in studying things when a Fortune 500 company is not looking for that. It makes more sense to just focus on what these companies want so that we can train ourselves on exactly those requirements and can beat the crowd, can beat people from IITs of the world, right? How do we do that? We do that because we have a connect with the industry. We are already working with the industry. Before I show you the hiring partners that we have, I will request all of you to follow our handle called Futurance Tech, FUTURENSE.tech on Instagram. That will show you what we are. That will show you the kind of fun we talk about, because for us, learning is all about having fun, right? So what are some of the partners we work with? And these will be your potential recruitment partners. Again, depending on how you perform, but we are already working with them. We are already giving them a lot of people. They already associate Futurance with quality talent. So on one hand, we have the likes of Amazon, we have the likes of Qualcomm, big tech companies. On the other side, we have banks, financial institutes like JP Morgan Chase, Barclays. On the other hand, we also have health tech companies like United Healthcare. All of these are Fortune 500 companies. Some other names that we work with, as you can see, some of them are Indian companies like Ola. I think all of us here use Ola. Dunzo at night, when you are hungry, you want something quick, Dunzo is the answer. Aditya Birla Group, I think all of us here would have somehow used Aditya Birla Group, be it their fashion like Alan Solly, or be it the cement that is being used in our house. Aditya Birla Group is responsible for that. We also, some of us use Digit Insurance. Ask your parents about Digit Insurance. It's a new age form of unicorn that is revolutionizing the insurance industry of this country. So you guys see that we have not just Fortune 500 companies as clients, we also have unicorns, startups, right? The reason is that it is up to you. There are certain people who would do very well in Fortune 500 companies. There are certain people who are a bit more freer in the mind, who don't want to work in a structure but want to have an ownership, can work on the startup side. So we have all options open. All we care is how well can you perform, how well can you become a problem solver. And I think some of you here might be football fanatics. So I'm sure you guys know what Rakuten is. They sponsor FC Barcelona. So Rakuten is a very big client of ours. We supply them with a lot of people. So again, very, very strong, deep industry connects. So what is the goal of what we are doing? Very simply, we want to truly democratize the playing field for aspiring BTech students in India. And democratize sounds like a very cool, very jazzy word, but let me very simply break it for you. We want to remove any barriers that exist for people like you to enter top companies. And how do we do that? The first thing we do is we enable you to earn while you learn. What do I mean by that? When you are studying in college, I don't know anyone who is earning when they are in college. You will be the first ones to do that. Second is, there's a job loop, right? Once you study, then you go to industry, they ask for experience, but you're like, I was studying, what do I do? Well, once you are at LPU through Futurance, what you can tell them is, even though while I was studying, I got the experience. So as I said, right, you are ahead of the curve. You are ahead of your friends in school right now. In 4 years down the lane, right, they will ask you, bhai, what did you do? Because every big company will be running after you. And the reason is you already are experienced without any kind of job experience, without any kind of in life experience. Once people graduate, you are already graduating with experience. That is the beauty, right? And as I said, we are training you very specifically on what these Fortune 500 MNCs unicorns want, so that you can become truly a future ready professional. And while I say future ready, right, I don't want to misuse this term. By future ready, I mean that you will be able to do something which people are doing in, let's say, 10 years. You can do it in 2 years. You will still have to work really hard, but you will be ahead of the curve. You will be ahead of your friends right now. And a very interesting part is, once you're on the program, you get after program support. So there's a 24/7 assistance you get once you are working for the Fortune 500 company. And the reason is that we want to tell you that as the godfather of talent, we are there to assist you. Don't worry if you don't know everything. There is someone out there who is looking out for you. And how do we do that? We have a very simple thing called a Futurance Force app. And on that app, let's say you are working for Uber. Uber is a client of ours, right? While you are working for Uber, we exactly know, as per the job description, what are the skills you might need to do. So let's say one of you is working in Uber. You go on the app and you're facing a problem. On our app, you will see a drop down menu. on the drop down menu all the things that Uber might require from you from a technical viewpoint. We will have listed. You can tick mark all the places where you are feeling a problem. In 30 minutes, a Futurance subject matter expert will reach out to you and solve that problem. So the beauty is, don't worry. Even once you are working for the top company, you don't have to worry that how will you do it, how will you cope with it. All you have to do is work hard, because Futurance and LPU are there to support you, right? So key highlights, just to give you a summary: conditional letter of intent at the time of joining this program. You will have global faculty, which is not just technically training you. These people have themselves done it. They are basically the people who you will report to. The people who they report to, their bosses will come and teach you. So what you will understand is, once you graduate, you will also have a mind share with the top minds of the world. As I mentioned, you will get guaranteed paid internships, 3 of those, semester 4, 6, and 8. And one thing with Futurance you are very much aware of is the industry connect, the connect with CXOs and thought leaders we have. So thank you so much. These were the key highlights. I would like to open up the floor for any questions if you guys have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Raghav. Thank you for putting it out in a very simple manner for the students. Ruby, if we can have the Q&A,
Yes.
the students that are
Thank you so
posting the
much.
questions, please.
Thank you so much, experts, for sharing your vision. Yes, sir, we have few queries from our attendees. So with your permission, shall we take those queries?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
All right, sir. So there is a very first query from Aradhya. She wants to know that although you have doing this initiative to offering letter on very first year to the students, but on what grounds you will select the students?
Okay.
So,
Uh,
you want me to take
should
this?
I take this, Raghav, or you will be taking it?
Go for it. Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. So the grounds are pretty simple. Aradhya, right? The name was Aradhya.
Yes, sir.
So the answer is very simple. On the letter of intent, it would be mentioned that how much CGPA you are getting and how much score you are getting in the work projects that you're doing with Futurance. So there are two parameters. One is your score, that is CGPA, which is there, which you get in university for your exams. The second is the score that you're attaining in your Futurance projects that you're doing with Futurance. Combining those, what the score is, based on that, the packages would be divided. And if you are scoring the top category, you get 12 LPA, you might get 11, you might get 10, you might get 9, you might get 8. So anything which you are, I would say, justifying yourself or you're proving yourself worthiness of, you will be getting that package. The idea is you would be knowing what performance you need to come up with. That will be there in the letter of intent in the very first semester. So you would be very clear, I need to be in this bracket. If I stay in this bracket, this is my package.
Thank you so much, sir. So we'll take up another query. So there are 2-3 queries related to this. I'll incorporate in one. So there are queries related to the placements only. So first, I'll incorporate in one question. So the queries are: do you offer guaranteed placements? If yes, then what do I study to bridge the gap so that I can get that job?
Can you repeat that, Ruby? What was the first part? Do you
Yes,
offer?
sir. Do you offer guaranteed placement? If yes, then what I need to, what they need to study to bridge the, they need to prepare to bridge the gap so that they can get the job, they can get the offer letter.
There is a very good notion about being guaranteed placements. So the placement is guaranteed if you're performing the way we expect you to perform, that's for sure. And that is why in this program, in the very first semester, you're getting your thing that this is how your scorecard needs to look at the end of your degree. So you get to feel that, okay, this is where I need to perform, this is where I need to land, and this is how much I will be getting paid for it if I land there. So guaranteed, if you perform as we expect, if you perform the way you want, obviously we will not be able to guarantee the placements. So guarantee word is only and only when there's an equal commitment from both sides. From our side, there's an 100% commitment, and obviously the student needs to perform as per the parameters set, and those parameters will be told to you very first semester, and it would not happen that in the fourth semester when you're here there, or in the 6th semester or 8th semester, then you're thinking about it that, okay, now the companies are going to start to come in. This is what I have to do. This is where I lack. No, you will be getting everything to know in the very first semester, as I said.
Definitely, sir. I completely agree with you. Thank you so much. So we'll take up another question from Amir Adnan. He wants to know that what are the prerequisites the student should know before getting into AI?
There is no as such prerequisites, because the program is structured in a manner that in the first semester you'll be studying courses, then in the second. So the courses are structured that cover the prerequisites starting from semester 1. Before coming in, the basic prerequisite is the same as for any normal CSE student. You should be good with maths, you should be good with basic sciences courses that you have gone through. That is the basic thing that you need. If you are good with that, that's more than enough. And when you come in, we'll take care of what are the prerequisites, how to structure, what to study in first semester, second, and so on, which just Mr. Atul was sharing. So you will be taken care of with respect to prerequisites for AI or any other specialization would be taught first, and then you go to those particular advanced level courses. So you don't need to worry about the prerequisites. Prerequisites for entering this program: basic, you need to have good scores in physics, chemistry, maths, basic good English. That's it, and you're through.
Thank you so much, sir. So we'll take up another query. That's a very interesting query. The query is from Gurkamanjeet Singh. He wants to know that as we have got the job from very first term, so do we need to go for online certification courses or any other kind of specification during our course duration? So is this mandatory or is this required?
So I would like to clear, yes, you would have to go for certain certifications. It is a part of the program. So a lot of things which you would study, the program, the things which you would be doing with the company. So the basics on which I can state is cloud computing. So there's an AWS certification or a GCP or an Azure certification you choose, you would have to do. So there would be, yes, certifications which are a part of the curriculum. You would have to do that. Again, you would not have to go outside the curriculum to do it. Whatever certifications, whatever would be needed would be a part of the curriculum, and you would be doing it only and only if there's something new that comes up, because IT industry is changing very rapidly. It changed a decade within the last 2 years, if I talk about starting the pandemic. So it's changing a lot. So if there is something which is coming up new required by the industry, and this is something which is a deal breaker, then you would be asked to do that certification. But as of now, everything which is currently required is a part of the curriculum.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Raghav, would you like to add something to this? Will FutureEns will offer any kind of online certification courses?
Right. So Ruby, as you can see, right, one thing you will realize is with FutureEns, we are already covering base of all of the relevant things that the industry wants. And when I talk about industry doing certifications for the hell of doing certifications, doesn't make sense. So obviously we will have some certifications there, but I would highly recommend to people to remove the kind of fascination from certifications to what the Fortune 500 companies are asking for. Because trust me, it is not rocket science. It does not require a lot of certifications. As sir before me pointed out, whatever certifications required, we will do it. But that is not the reason why these companies will hire you. They will hire you just because on your core skills. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, sir. So we'll take up last but not the least question from our attendees. So the attendee is Gur Mehesh. She wants to know that what is the recruitment pattern, whether they have to give written or objective based assessment, or they need to appear for an interview.
So I like to take this.
Yeah, please.
So what usually happens is that all of these companies, right? On one side you have Fortune 500 companies, on one side you have unicorns, right? Fortune 500 companies have a lot of systems in place. They have 10 layers of leadership. So what happens is that there are 3 or 4 rounds. One is a technical round, then you have an interview round, then you have a written round, then you have a behavioral round, then you have an HR round. However, in the unicorns, the way it is structured is you can directly have a talk with the founder, or you can directly have a talk with a co-founder or with a CXO. So again, it depends on company to company. The good thing for you is that FutureEns has already cracked it. we have already cracked the code of how to get you inside these companies. We will beforehand we will mark which companies you can apply for. We can help you out with that, and we will guide you on a point by point basis of what you need to do. Again, it will be a very simple process, nothing to worry about, but it depends on a company to company basis. So I would be wrong to give you one straight answer. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Raghav, Professor Sami, sir, for resolving all the queries of our attendees. And attendees, I must tell you, the Futurance, they have come up with such a wonderful opportunity that will give you security, that give you attention-free college life, that you have a job. So it's a wonderful opportunity for all of you. So go get your admissions, take your seats, book your seats as soon as possible. So with this, we'll move on to our admission expert, Ms. Megha Singh. So ma'am, over to you for the admission part of the university.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Am I audible to you?
You're audible. Can you please switch on your camera?
Megha ma'am, you're on mute.
Thank you so much. All the panel members are here. So I will begin with the, the presentation. What kind of infrastructure facilities? What is the admission procedure? What will be your campus life, and what are the facilities that LPU offers in total? So to begin with this presentation, it's a very quick presentation. So first, I'll start with the students of our university who got laurels, to our name, right? So continuing with that, let me just go ahead. I'm sorry. Yes. Now, next, this is our LPU's team, which went ahead and they lifted up the runners-up trophy at Khelo India University Games. Moving ahead, a very important question that the parents as well as the students have, that what are the rankings that LPU has achieved. So we have got wonderful rankings with us, whether it is on a global platform where we are ranking at 74th, or whether it is amongst the top universities in India where we're ranking 36, or the Atal rankings of innovation area where we are ranking at number 3. The kind of campus life, the kind of exposure that we are providing to our students, let it be the Prime Minister, the current Prime Minister, who was here when we hosted for the first time the Indian Science Congress by any private university, or it's the various dignitaries that are gracing the convocations, and as well as the induction programs welcoming the freshers, or whether it is the the minister who started up with the LPU's startup school, where we try to motivate students to create jobs, right? So these are some celebrities that have welcomed the freshers in the past, and so on. Coming to the infrastructure, no doubts about it, LPU has got the biggest, the best infrastructure globally. This is a glimpse of one of the amphitheaters that we have, where a lot of Nukkad Nataks, club activities, gatherings, they take place. This is one of the auditoriums that we are having in our university. This one specifically has a capacity of 3,500 plus attendance, and all kinds of national, international events of repute takes place in this particular auditorium. This is our uni center, where a lot of shops, convenience stores are there for the benefit of the students. This is our library. It's a central library, more than 20 lakh books, good amount of databases, newspapers, e-magazines, as well as in print are available for the students. For the entertainment, we are again not lagging behind. This is our bowling alley, gym, spa, a proper uni hospital with 24/7 facilities, doctors, residents taking care of our students if they are suffering from some kind of ailment. This is our indoor sports stadium. We've got an indoor swimming pool, all weather season. We've got indoor badminton courts and many such activities. Shooting range. This is a glimpse of a university during the daytime, and this is a glimpse of all the residential capacity when viewed in the night. So coming back to how you can take admission, and as the panelists spoke about at extent about the programs available at the university, how to search for the information. In 5 minutes, let's talk about it. Now, what you're going to do is you can go on to Google and you can type on www.lpu.in. So I'll just do that for you. So once you do that, you'll come across a landing page like this, where it is going to ask from you what kind of a program you're looking for. Let's take an example. If my last qualification is 12th, I want to go ahead for engineering. I select my discipline as engineering, and I want to select what stream am I going to pursue. So let's take an example. If I am moving towards CSE, computer science engineering, the page is going to describe all kinds of programs that are available currently in the university. So you can see over here, if I zoom a little bit, you see there are BTech programs, regular programs, honors program. I've got work integrated programs, industry collaborative programs, programs which are involving international credit transfer option. So let's take an example. If I want to go ahead and look at this program of BTech CSE, AI and data engineering, which is in tie-up with Futurists, right? Futurists. Please look over here. What kind of the details, what will be the information? I am being provided everything over here at this page, right? Then what will be the eligibility criteria? It's clearly mentioned over here. What will be the interview guidelines? Some of the students I was hearing when Ms. Ruby was talking about that, what will be the preparation? It is mentioned over here. You can please go through it. What are the key highlights? What are the rankings? What is the fee structure? Very important question that I come across when the candidates are looking for admission. Apart from that, what are the different kinds of scholarships that are available for me? So I can get the scholarship on the basis of my qualifying exam. I can get the scholarship basis upon the entrance test of LPU Nest. I can get the scholarship if I have appeared for JEE mains. There are other scholarships also. For example, if I have already started up with my own startup or I have got some kind of patent in my name, I can also explore this. And of course, we're also having financial aid, right? How are you going to apply? There is a proper pattern given over here where you can sign up, you apply for LPU Nest, book the exam and go ahead. You can just click on the tab over here, the orange tab that says apply now, and you will be good to go. What is the most important thing for all the attendees is to please look forward at the important dates. For example, for the last date of submission of the LPU Nest examination is 30th of June, which is written over here. This has been extended. So you can go ahead and I will tell about the last date is 15th of July. Okay, and exam you can give by 20th of July. Result will be given within 24 hours. All right. And after this, what will be the last date of admission, which has also been updated, right? So you can go ahead and find out all the information regarding any of the programs that you want to explore. Also, another query that we come across is that how do we come to know about the future or the upcoming or the forthcoming webinars? So over here, you can click upon admissions, and on the left hand side, you can see the tab of LPU's Edu Fair. Once you click upon it, this is the window or the landing page that you will be brought forward with. Here you can see all the upcoming webinars. So if you're interested in any of these webinars, you can earmark in your calendar and you can join and listen to all the experts. And if a particular webinar you have missed, right, you can click upon the past webinars and you will get all the YouTube recordings where you can go ahead and listen to them, right? Thank you so much, and over to Ms. Ruby.
For their valuable contribution to our webinar, which was entitled as Pathway to Build Career in AI and Data Engineering. So my deepest gratitude goes to all who attended this webinar and helped to make it such a successful one. And experts, thank you so much. I'm sure your years of research, your years of experience will definitely help the audience to choose the right path. So until next time, I, Ruby Gill, finally sign off the session. Thank you, everyone.